There's one factor that I think puts a different spin on maybe the way I approach automotive design is that I'm a fine artist. And I was painting, since I was a little kid. And all I did was put my interest of automobile and my fine art together and say, okay, I want to be an automotive designer. There's a couple places that the rear hip shape comes from. One of them is definitely the Mark I's that made it to the John Wyer team. Those Ford GTs have the most dramatic shape. The GT is a very sexy car in a feminine way. And it's also a very aggressive car, I would say, in a masculine way. But when you look at the car from the back, it's really cool because it's almost like a landscape, like anatomy. You just see the hips, and then they fade away, and then you can see the other hips coming out from below, kind of, like you see a girl's figure. The Signature series that I've been working with started out with a vehicle that we wanted to auction, and we wanted to do something special with a Ford GT. This is the 5th Signature car. One of my friends looked at this car and the graphics on it, and he goes, "It's very Space Shuttle." And you know what? I told him it looked a little bit NASA. The spin-off was from the early GTs that were running in '65. Cars like Ken Miles was driving. They weren't winning yet, but they all had flat black hoods, and they were painted white. And there was no purpose for that outside of function because it deflects the glare. They used it because they needed it. What officially makes you a gearhead? I mean, how many times do you have to yell and throw a wrench when you're under the car? This car has 15,000 miles on it now. I've got it up to 195. I was trying to break 200. This is like, this is like a recreational vehicle. This is like a jet ski. You can go, but it's gonna cost money. I mean, if you look at it from where I am, this black area looks like the solar system. It's just full of white specks. My road trips usually go from Detroit to Utah and then to Napa. This year in Napa, I went to Sears Point or the Sonoma Raceway. Then we went to Monterey, to Pebble Beach. Showed the car there once at the Gordon McCall party. And then I've made individual trips to New Orleans and Texas.